Yeah, Sonic was always the nonchalant type. Honestly, I feel like he should legitimately just pass the ball to me. Welcome to the 5th episode of Arcanus Reacts. Today, we are going to be reacting to Sonic Infection AU Zombie Amy by Ors of Course. Let's get into it.
While scrolling on Twitter, I found an interesting AU called Withered Rose, created by Yanduri-chan. And while it's definitely still in the early stages, I really think this one has some great potential, and the artwork really caught my attention, so I want.
The artwork looks really good. Like, it looks very similar to, the Sonic comics. Because I've seen a lot of these AUs already. You could look at my channel, that's literally all I react to. And sometimes the art style is good, and sometimes it's just a bit iffy. But if what I'm seeing here is going to be the norm for the entire AU, then that makes me happy. Because a lot of these AUs don't have love put into them. They don't have a good art style. So it's good to actually see that. Alright, okay, let's get back into it now.
To share it with you guys. Now, this AU starts off with Tails and Sonic screaming for Amy to wake up, and judging by the wounds on her face and her nearly lifeless eyes, we can assume that maybe she was attacked by a badnik, but when you actually look at the wounds, it almost seems more like she was attacked by an animal. And we see even more evidence of this when we look at her legs and her arms almost being severed as well. But even with all this damage, Amy is still able to lift her body up, saying that she feels fine, although Tails and Sonic are pleading for her to stay down.
Feels fun. You see, this is what I don't like about these characters. It's like when they get infected or something happens to them, they're always like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. Nigga, you ain't fine. You are not fine. Look at you. Guys, does Amy look fine to you? I mean, I know I paused at a very dark frame, but that's besides the point. You could tell that she is not fine.
And now from this angle where she's sitting up, we can actually see the chunk of her arm missing. And when I looked on Twitter, I found this image and it shows a piece of her side.
Does she look fine to you guys? Please answer me. Does she look fine to you?
Missing, and like a piece of her leg was bitten down to the bone. And honestly, with wounds like this, you would expect somebody to just be dead. So the fact that she's sitting up is kind of a big deal. And
that's actually kind of that's pretty interesting. It's a cartoon, and I feel like, it doesn't need to be realism in it anyways, but
the next panel, we see that they're able to get her wrapped up, and they also have an IV in her arm to get some fluids back into her because I'm sure she lost a ton of blood. And based on her eyes here, I would say that she actually looks a lot more lively. But as Tails points out, after the damage that Amy just suffered, she shouldn't even be able to sit up, let alone be this happy and chipper. And you also know something is wrong because Sonic is actually sitting here kind of quiet for a moment. But eventually he does jump in and he tells Amy that she was basically dead or very
basically dead. Huh. Interesting.
close to death. But Amy doesn't seem to be bothered by it, being more worried about getting some new clothes because hers are all cut up from whatever the attack was. Now, as she's walking out, we see Tails tries to stop her so that he can actually run a few tests to make sure everything is okay. But she begs him to take a break because she's been in his lab for hours, she's hungry, and basically just wanting to get some sunlight.
Okay, this is actually very interesting so far, because in all the infection AUs that I've watched, I've never seen one in which, the person is just I mean, I know that Amy is going to be doing a bunch of wild shit, sooner or later, but it's just surprising to me, because normally the infection in these AUs spread quickly, but if it's been hours and nothing has happened, that's pretty interesting.
And with the backing of Sonic, she's able to go out and actually take a quick break. And even though Sonic puts on a smile here, once the door closes behind her, you can tell he's definitely worried about her. And this part really stands out for me. He reiterates that Amy was half dead not too long ago, and then she suddenly got back up as if nothing had happened. He even points out that her heart monitor was moving slowly, and while I'm not a doctor, if the heart is beating too slowly, that means that it won't actually be able to get the necessary blood to vital organs. And considering that this AU was originally called It's Still Me, and had this image of like a drooling Amy Rose with
I see. So basically it seems that it's probably like a zombie type of thing. So it's not actually Amy, but some probably parasite has infected her brain and is trying to act like her. I guess that's pretty much what this entire thing is. All right.
stitches all over her body. And as you can see, she's reaching for Sonic, trying to get him to realize that she's still like the real her. Now, while editing this video, I wanted to take a second to talk about this image because I do realize that it looks a little bit freaked out, but I don't think that is the intention. I know it's very suggestive with Amy.
Oh, I was kind of taking it in the suggestive way, cause like, I honestly talk, cause like, obviously this is the thumbnail of this guy's video, so it's like, I did kind of assume it was going to be that type of AU where it's like, probably the parasite like floods her mind with like, what do you call those things, like nicotine or whatever, so she's pretty much just gonna be obsessed with Sonic or stuff like that. I thought it was gonna be like, like a yandere type scenario. I'm sure you know what a yandere is. I would hope so. You don't need to really be chronically online to know these terms for sure. So, all right, interesting.
Like looking at Sonic this way, she's kind of drooling. She has her hand on his chest. But if you just look at his face, this isn't supposed to be anything sexual. And even when you think back to the original series, while Amy does have feelings for Sonic, he never actually reciprocated those feelings. And I don't think it's going to be any different here.
I'm my bad. Honestly, yeah, Sonic was always the nonchalant type. Honestly, I feel like he should legitimately just pass the ball to me, because you know what I mean. Like, obviously in the context of this AU, keep me 6 feet away from this woman. You know what I mean? But in like the regular shows, like, pass the ball, Sonic. Just pass the ball and put the fries in the bag. Come on, like, come on, bro.
Looking all over for you! Whoa! This isn't a kissing booth!
Unless this is taking place in the Boom Sonic universe. But as I continue explaining kind of what's going on in this AU, I think this picture will make more sense, but I just wanted to jump in just in case anybody was getting the wrong idea. Anyway, back to the video. But now this is really starting to make sense, because I think she was able to get back up because she did actually die, but now she's come back as a zombie, which explains the hashtags on Twitter that says zombie. And if all that is true, we know that adrenaline isn't what's keeping Amy up and moving around, but rather like some undying fortitude or something. What?
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So, like, okay, I'm a bit confused though, because what does this mean in terms of her consciousness? Like, is she fully there? Is she half there and like half parasite like what's the percentage in this? Because it's like I'm trying to figure out if the infection will reach to a point in which she generally just can't think for herself anymore, or if she could still like, if she still has some sort of control. Like, how is this really going?
What I'm more curious about is who could have turned her into a zombie though, because
Oh yeah, that's a good question. Could it be Eggman? I don't know, man. It's like even if it was Eggman, it's like I highly doubt that Eggman would have planned to do something like this. Eggman probably would have just wanted to kill her. But at the same time, it's like I highly doubt Eggman truly ever wanted to kill the characters in the Sonic universe. I genuinely just believe that he just liked the chase. He would be devastated, I'm sure, if he actually ended up somehow killing Sonic or any of his friends.
I'm thinking that this isn't Eggman, because if it was him, he would have done something like with the metal virus, basically using those nanobots to turn Mobians and just other creatures into zombie-like robots. And even if he would have done something differently, it would have had something to do with technology, because that's just how Eggman is. In the next chapter, we see Amy is out walking in the woods and she has that dead-eye stare again. And now that she's alone, she finally admits that her body was so messed up that she should be dead for sure. But being out in nature with the flickies seemed to put her mind at ease, and one even lands on her finger like she's some type of Disney princess. And then with her little friend in tow, she goes to find an apple tree nearby. Now, after some time passes, Sonic realizes that Amy isn't back, so he tells Tails that he's going to go check on her. And with that, he dashes out of the lab to see if he can actually pick up her trail. And with his speed,
Dude, imagine if Sonic goes and he just sees a pool of blood from all the little animals and just Amy standing there like a lunatic. That would be insane, but I feel like that's what it's leading up to.
it doesn't take him too long to find her kneeling in front of this tree, seemingly eating apples. But once he gets close to her, something freaks him out and his eyes go wide. And what we see is that Amy is not eating an apple, but rather she's munching on a flicky. And
I called it. I legitimately called it. I'm just, oh my gosh. That's actually, okay, first of all, number one, that's incredibly disgusting. Number 2, I did not pre-watch. I know a lot of you are gonna start saying that. I did not pre-watch. I have no reason to pre-watch an 8-minute video on an infection AU where Amy from the Sonic universe is turning into a beast. No reason.
As Sonic if he wants one because they are fresh and juicy.
Fresh and juicy. Bro, yeah, you know what? Yeah, see, like, yeah, oh my gosh. There's nothing I could say. See, I want to come up with a quick and witty remark, but I have nothing to possibly say. This is disgusting.
Good and tasty?
And it really seems like Amy doesn't even realize what she's doing here, because as Sonic starts to puke in his hand, Amy looks genuinely confused. And when she reaches out to Sonic with this bloody hand, he slaps it away, absolutely terrified of her. And it's at this point that Amy finally realized that she's covered in blood. And this makes her start to tremble because she finally understands that she may not be normal anymore.
Interesting. So, okay, so is it just like a back and forth type of thing then?
And now that whatever trance that she was in has broken, she can see the flicky that she had been munching on, and she is disgusted with herself. Now, back over in the lab, we see that Amy is resting again, and
Amy is not gonna be allowed to leave that lab anytime soon, my nigga. She ain't leaving anytime soon.
now she looks utterly defeated. Sonic is also feeling bad now because he thinks he could have reacted to the situation a bit better instead of freaking out, especially since he realized that Amy wasn't even aware of what she was doing. And seeing that this situation is starting to spiral, Tails calls for some backup, and we see that he reached out to Knuckles, Shadow, and Rouge.
No, okay, I meant this pause on the other frame, it doesn't matter. What Knuckles, Rouge, what are these Knuckles? Oh, dude, what could those people possibly contribute to this situation? Tails is the only one who's smart enough to possibly find a cure to this. No one else has the intelligence to possibly fix this issue. Why are they here?
And while that whole team is obviously great, I'm really happy to see Rouge here, because if this AU goes really bad, brute force isn't going to be enough. So having like a spy on the team is going to be very valuable.
Okay, okay, I get what you're trying to say, but it's like you're already assuming that Amy is somehow going to have some form of willpower so strong that she's gonna break through from the lab. I don't think that's what's going on.
Because they're definitely going to need somebody to gather information about what may be going on in this world, and Rouge is kind of all about intel gathering.
Okay, never mind. I'm beginning to understand now. All right.
Now, something that does kind of worry me about this AU is that if all the zombies are kind of like how Amy is, I think it's going to be very hard for our heroes to actually fight against them. What I mean by this is Amy actually goes in and out of like consciousness, as we
Yeah, that's the thing. So it's like, I mean, who even knows? Tails could be infected, but how would you know until it's too late?
saw here. She literally went blank and then just started devouring these flickies. But once Sonic came up to her and started speaking to her, she was able to come back to her regular self. And I think that there's more than enough evidence to kind of let us know that that wasn't her pretending or faking. She really just didn't know what she was doing. And I think if that's the case moving forward, Sonic and Knuckles are definitely not going to be able to take out their own friends, or any other Mobian for that matter, if we're being honest. Shadow is kind of hit or miss, because we remember as soon as he saw all those Mobians get affected in the metal virus, he just started knocking them out.
The Doctor's metal virus can't infect the ultimate life form!
But I think
Shadow is just that goated. I'm telling you. Shadow is the best person to have an infection AU, because he ain't gonna give he's just not gonna give two shits. He's going to legitimately do what he must do. You know what I'm trying to say? He gonna do what he gotta do, regardless. So that's why I think he's the best person to have in predicaments like these.
That Sonic was here watching over Amy, not even being able to sleep because he felt so bad about the way that he just reacted to her, means that he's definitely not going to be able to put down a zombie Amy if it really comes down to that. And I'm excited to see how this next part plays out, because if you look in this panel here, she has that same kind of dead-eye stare that she had right before she started eating the flicky. So I'm wondering if in the next chapter she's actually going to try to attack somebody in this little lab. And with so many of her friends all in one place, it could be anybody. But if I had to put my money on one, I would say that it's definitely going to be Tails. But for now, that's just my theory of what's going to happen. I'm excited to see how this goes moving forward because this AU could either be like an infection AU, it could be a more traditional horror AU. And I'm also excited to see what role Eggman is going to play here. Because as I said earlier, I don't think that he caused this virus. And that means that he's probably going to be a big part in helping cure it. If this is anything like some of the other Sonic Infection AUs, usually good guy, bad guy, doesn't matter. They all have to come together and kind of help, or the world is just going to end.
Good point, good points.
Make sure to cover this AU again after a couple more parts come out. Make sure you go follow this creator over on Twitter and Instagram. And if you enjoyed this video, check out this video on the screen here. So
Alright, so that was it. A pretty short one today, but good nonetheless. I rate this AU a 7 out of 10. It's pretty good. The premise is very good. I mean, it has potential in my opinion. I love the art style, and that's really what bumped it up in the ratings, but so far it's not really unique in a way, but like I like where it's going. I like where it's going. But the thing is that this video came out like 7 months ago. It probably does have updated versions, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, I could talk about it. Well, if it has updates, I could read the updates on like the person's Instagram or whatnot. But like, that's up to you guys. Like, do you want me to do that, or would you prefer me to just watch these infection AUs rather than actually go to the source material and read them? Up to you, of course. Up to you. So yeah, that's it for today. See you in the next one.